Okay, the global enslavement via the Communist Manifesto by international bankers. John Maynard Keynes produced his general theory of money and credit at the behest of certain insiders of international finance who hired him to concoct a pseudo-scientific justification for government deficit spending. Just as the mysterious League of Just Men had hired Karl Marx to write the Communist Manifesto, a document that was based on principles laid down 70 years before by Adam Weishaupt, a member of the Masonic Lodge the Grand Orient of France, which was financially backed by Mayor Amschel Rothschild. Lord Alfred Milner, wealthy Englishman and frontman for the Rothschilds, served as paymaster for the international bankers in Petrograd during the Bolshevik Revolution. Milner later headed a secret society known as the Round Table, which was dedicated to establishing a world government whereby a clique of super-rich financiers would control the world under the guise of socialism. The American subsidiary of this conspiracy is called the Council on Foreign Relations and was started by and is still controlled by international bankers. Basically, there's a lot of history behind this, but the Communist Manifesto, a document that outlines 10 demands or 10 planks, is being used today to enslave us all to international bankers. On to plank number 1, abolition of property in land and application of all rents of land to public purposes. This is done today via the artificial inflation of property prices, so someone has to work their entire life to own a home, only then to pay crippling property taxes. Plank number 2, a heavy, progressive or graduated income tax. Medieval serfs were taxed less than we are today. Today, most countries tax up to 50% of income and then tax everything you purchase, so that more than half your money is never yours. In reality, this means someone works more than 6 months out of every year for free for the government, basically enslavement. The bulk of these taxes go to private bankers. On to plank number 3, the abolition of all right of inheritance. This is linked to the first plank. They don't want your kids inheriting your hard work. They want to keep them poor and dependent, so after working all your life to own your own home, it's then taken from you. Plank number 4, confiscation of the property of all immigrants and rebels. IGGs, basically. Ill-gotten gains, or how everything is confiscated. This ties in with the RICO statute, racketeer influence and corrupt organizations, which to me sounds like the IMF. Basically a global national bank which supersedes the likes of the Bank of England and Federal Reserve. Basically banks that are not national, not federal, and have no reserves. Basically private racketeering. Imagine confiscating all their ill-gotten gains. Okay, on to plank number 5. The centralization of credit in the hands of the state by means of a national bank with state capital and an exclusive monopoly. It is a state monopoly, but it's not national. The Bank of England likes to say it has been nationalized, but ultimately it collects taxes for wealthy individuals that issue our national loan, the national debt. Who these individuals are, who all of us are indebted to, is their most guarded secret. On to plank number 6. The centralization of the means of communication and transport in the hands of the state. Whoa. People just need to look at our airports to see that this has been put into action. Basically, the TSA, the Transportation Security Administration, or twisted sexual assault, completed with naked body scanners which give you cancer. On to plank number 7, extension of factories and instruments of production owned by the state, the bringing into cultivation of wastelands and the improvement of the soil generally in accordance with a common plan. This is Agenda 21, the confiscation of land which today is done under the guise of sustainability and cramming people into mega cities with lots of surveillance, also known as kill grids. On to plank number 8. equal liabilities of all to labour, establishment of industrial armies, especially for agriculture. This is the feminist movement, which was funded by John D. Rockefeller. But under this system, they have no choice. All chicks have got to work. This just shows how our economies have been imploded by design, and how now both parents have to work to support a family, and with both parents occupied with work, the state has a hand in raising all children as the government desires. On to plank number 9. The combination of agriculture with manufacturing industries. Gradual abolition of the distinction between town and country by a more equitable distribution of the population over the country. This has already been accomplished via the likes of Monsanto and a monopoly of corporations. However, as already mentioned, a distribution of population over the country is not what the government wants. What they do want is a gradual abolition of all national governments, sovereign nations, and to announce a world government which of course will be subservient to a global bank with global taxes. We can already see the seeds of this with the UN, IMF and NATO troops to enforce that taxes be paid. Plank number 10. Free education for all children in public schools. Abolition of children's factory labour in its present form. A combination of education with industrial production. There's no such thing as a free lunch, okay? Schools today are indoctrinating centres to teach kids to not ask questions, not question authority, and to be good slaves. Also, it's not free. Anyone who abides this system is not free, and anyone who thinks they are free is truly enslaved. That's what the end game is, to enslave everyone and for individuals to think they love it. This is how 1984 ends. When you love the system, they kill you, for they already have your soul. At the end of the day, it's not about money, it's about power and having people's souls. People could add a lot of other smaller points to this, but a major point that has been missed out is the abolition of firearms. Slaves can't have guns. Most governments hate the idea of an armed population, and those that enslave us via national debts hate the American Constitution. I say enforce the Constitution, stick with God, guts and guns, and humanity can turn this fight around. Because it is a fight. It's a fight for freedom, which throughout history has meant a fight to the death.